After a 2-year slump, art sales are surging in auction houses like Christie's and Sotheby's. It's being called the comeback for the art market. We're looking at what's selling and why with our next guest, Barbara Guggenheim, CEO of Barbara Guggenheim Associates. Barbara, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
What is the big market right now? What's the hot market?
Quality. It's a good time to buy. It's a good time to look at established artists who've been overlooked in the past or have been right in front of our eyes, but everyone's been looking at younger artists. So it's a great time to focus.
And who are some of those artists?
Whether, if you like Picasso, whether it's a Picasso painting or you can afford a Picasso print or a Warhol painting or Warhol print, the rule now is to buy the best of what you can buy.
Hi, Barbara. It's Paul Harris speaking. I'm just wondering, is the demographic of the art buyers changing over the last little while? Are they sort of the similar kind of wealthy individuals around the world, or are they kind of is that demographic changed over the last, let's say, few years?
Well, I think what happened is a lot of people got into the market because they thought it was a get-rich-quick scheme. And the prices went up and up and up for artists. You would go to an auction. If you couldn't get one privately, you'd bid whatever you needed to bid because you had $1 million and someone else had $1 million and you wanted that painting. And then when the works got over $2, $3, $4 million, it kind of fell off a cliff. And people have now turned to more established artists, and they're looking for opportunity in quality.
And I mean, timing, like everything, timing the market is so important. And you mentioned about quality. Are there some genres or spaces that maybe people might not consider looking, but might be worth taking a look?
I think the best thing is always to work with an advisor. Of course, I'd say that I am one. But there are tons of areas of opportunity. For example, there was a big surrealist sale. The Latin American painting by Frida Kahlo brought a lot of money. The Klimt brought a lot of money. So across the board, there are opportunities. And I think what came out was a lot of material that hadn't been on the market in a very long time. And so fresh material attracts collectors because collectors collect. That's what they do. And they wait for opportunities.
So, Barbara, I guess one of the issues is that when you hear about the art market and you're going to hear about Christie's and Sotheby's and sort of the main things they sold. So, and that's wonderful if Picasso or something that goes for millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, I guess. But is the market really supported by kind of paintings that are in the $1, $2, $3, $4 million range? Is that the way the market works, or is it really these big things that make up most of the market?
No, I think you're right. I think it's the middle range market. But you have to really be aware and really study. For example, there was a Stuart Davis that came up in the Pritzker sale that brought $1.5 million. 2 or 3 years ago, it would have been a $5 million painting. So whoever bought that got a bargain. That is, if Stuart Davis comes back in price. It may be the kind of pump and move on for certain artists. It's very hard to tell.
And now you also say you're seeing younger people get involved. Are they buying big like that, or are they starting out in a different category, and what are they looking at?
I think that like anything on this table is $150,000. It's very hard to find a young artist for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 who can give you a guarantee that that's going to be worth more. So I have a client, for example, who said, don't bother me unless it's $250,000. And there are a lot of collectors already in on it, because then I'm kind of sure that a village is surrounding and pushing the material.
So when you think about your clients, do you think of art as a sort of a part of a portfolio of, I mean, it's an aesthetic. I don't want to demean it as something like as a portfolio, but do you think of it as an investment portfolio that you add along with stocks and bonds and other aspects of investing, alternative assets? Do you think of it that way? Or, I mean, obviously you want to look at something and say it's beautiful and you like it, and I want to put it in my house because I enjoy looking at it every day. But do you think about it that way when you're advising your clients?
Well, I hope you can have both. I had a client who came to me with his pie chart from, I think, Goldman Sachs and said, I like my pie. You're going to have to explain to me why I need to change it. And he went on to be a big collector because he found artists that went up in price enormously.
Okay, Barbara, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Barbara Guggenheim is CEO of Barbara Guggenheim Associates.